Today I want to speak about a band, a supergroup band of the last years of the 90s. This band started in 1997, but their first album, the debut album, came out in 1999, and they continued until 2004, and afterwards they disbanded. In these years, they made 3 full studio albums, and today I want to speak about the band. I want to speak about their albums, to rank their albums from worst to best, in my opinion. So I'm speaking about the band SINERGY. These guys, they were very famous in these years, in the 90s, in the last 90s. Very famous, and this is an example that here we have a very famous supergroup band with many famous members inside it, but except maybe from the first album, the debut album, that it was one of the best power metal albums of these years. Afterwards, they didn't deliver the odds, and unfortunately, today I'm not sure that there are many metalheads that remember them, unfortunately. So let's go start and speak about SINERGY. First of all, the band, it was something between, it was a band of famous members that I said before, from Finland and from Sweden. And not only, but the first idea to make this band came out from 2 members. First of all, from Kim Goss. She was and she is one of the. She was inside many groups in these years. She is an American Asian. That she came from, she born in United States, in California, United States. Her father was Korean, her mother, she was from Germany, and after some years she moved with her mother to Japan, and she lived some years of her childhood in Japan. Afterwards they came back with her mother to United States, and there when she was 16 years old, she started to be in the United States. She started to be inside the black metal scene. So she made one of the most extreme fanzines in the United States about death and the black metal when she was 16 years old. And for this reason, when she was 17 years old, she moved to Norway to be inside the whole scene of black metal. In these years of the inner cycle, let's say. So afterwards we find her in Norway. In Norway, she became the keyboardist of the black metal band Ascent. Yes, Ascent, and she was with Ascent until in their famous third album, I think, the Kind Chronicles, something like that, with Lord Caiaphas. This is also everybody knows this a video clip of Ascent with Lord Caiaphas. Lord Caiaphas, if I'm not sure, he's living now he's from Brazil originally, and he lives now in Israel. Everybody knows this video clip that with Lord Caiaphas of Ascent, and also there Kimberly Ghost is inside this video clip. Now, she was in Ascent. Afterwards, she became the season keyboardist of Dimmu Borgir. Many people maybe they don't know that. And when she was with Dimmu Borgir, there's also an old video that some reporters asked her when she was with Dimmu Borgir, asked her about their past, and there she's very against Ascent, the band Ascent. When she was with Dimmu Borgir, and Dimmu Borgir, they made a live performance with In Flames from Sweden, she started an idea with Jesper Stormblood from In Flames in these years, and they had an idea. Kimberly goes together with Kim goes together with Jesper Stormblood of In Flames. They had an idea to make a band that it is female fronted, but not atmospheric metal, not melodic metal, but heavy metal like the way of Doro and the way of Warlock and these bands of the 80s with female vocals. This was the idea, and from there they started the whole idea to start Synergy. Afterwards, she moved to Sweden for some period of time, and afterwards she started to date Alexei Laiho from Children of Bodom. For this reason, afterwards, if I'm not sure, also she moved to Finland. So she in some years she was living also in Norway, also in Sweden, and afterwards also in Finland. Now, and she was the wife also. They married with Alexei Laiho. She was the wife of Alexei Laiho until, if I'm not sure, until his death. Rest in peace. Afterwards, Alexei Laiho died before 2 years from now. More or less, it was a very big conflict between the members of his family and between Kimmery Goss, but I'm not coming to speak about it now. It's not our problem, it's not our thing to speak about. In any case, in the beginning, Synergy was the band specially of Kimmery Goss, of Alexei Laiho, and of Jesper Stormblood from In Flames. So in the debut album, they had two members from Sweden, Jesper Stormblood, and also another two members from Sweden. Sorry D'Angelo, the bassist, that he's known from Arch Enemy, and also from Spiritual Beggars, and also from Night Flight Orchestra, and also from Witchery, and also he was a little bit period of time the bassist of Merciful Fate and King Diamond, and also he was in Dismember. He was in a big groups, in a big number of groups and bands. Charlie D'Angelo, and also the drummer also from Sweden, if I'm not sure, Ronnie Miljanovic, and also he said that the man that connected him with Synergy, the first drummer, Ronnie Miljanovic, was Joachim Kahn from Hammerfall. So you can find here many members that they are connected one to the other from many bands that we will see. So in the first beginning of the group, we have three guys from Sweden, Alexei Laiho from Finland, and Kimberly Goss, of course, from United States. And they made this super group. They made their first debut album in 1999, Beware the Heathens. I will speak about their albums even more in some minutes from now. In 2000, they changed members. Jesper Stormblood left the band, D'Angelo left the band, Miljanovic left also, and Kimmery goes together with Alexei Laiho. They continued and they took members from the Finnish metal scene. Specifically, some members of Children of Bodom, for example, Latvala, the guitarist, he came from Children of Bodom. For example, also Marco Hietala, to be the bassist. Marco Hietala, he was known in these years before from a Finnish band of heavy power metal by the name Tarot, and afterwards he became even more famous when he was in Nightwish. Even more, Nightwish, if I'm not sure, Nightwish decided to take him as a bassist of their band because of a live performance that have Synergy together with Nightwish in these years. And also, They had for drummer Tommy Lilleman, if I prefer his name well, also rest in peace. He died in 2012. He was the famous drummer of Lordi, of the heavy metal band Lordi, by the nickname Otus. From the band also, they came also inside the band season members also from Lordi, other members from Lordi, other members of Children of Bodom. More or less, you can find here many members for many groups that they came to the band. Also, Lauri Pora from Finland, from the band Wormen. He was the bassist of the band for another period of time. He was also connected with Stratovarius, if I'm not sure. You can find inside also for drummer Jane Parviainen, if I prefer well his name. He was in the Black Doom band Barathrum, and afterwards, and he's now, if I'm not sure, the drummer of Ensiferum, if I'm not sure. In any case, you can find here inside this super group, in the beginning maybe more guys from Sweden, afterwards more guys from Finland, but guys that they are inside the metal scene for many years, inside metal groups, famous metal groups, for many years. You can find here members of Nightwish, of Lordi, of Children of Bodom, of In Flames, of Archenemy, in general, of Ensiferum, you can find many famous musicians. And unfortunately, if you find the story of the band afterwards, is not in the same way like their famous status, unfortunately. Now, also Kimmery Goss, she was also in Ascent, afterwards in Dimmu Borgir, and another also thing, if I'm not sure, she played keyboards and she made some vocals in the album Theli of Therion, of the Swedish, let's say, melodic death metal, symphonic death metal in these years, band Therion. So, when they came out with their debut album, Beware the Heavens, in 1999, it was a blast. I didn't know the band. I was living in Jerusalem in these years, until now I'm in Jerusalem, but before that I moved to Greece for some years. In my rabbinical yeshiva, in my rabbinical religious school that I studied rabbinical studies, and I remember in these years I found in one shop this debut album of them, SINERGY. In these years, before the internet, before the YouTube, everybody, if someone wanted to buy an album, first of all he had to see the artwork. So from the artwork, I understood that it's something about power metal. Okay, I was very inside power metal in these years, but here you can find the picture of Kimmery Goss, and it's like something a pop band, something like that. I was not sure. Of course, it was from Nuclear Blast, and I said to myself, okay, maybe this is probably metal and maybe power metal. And when I listened to the band, I was in shock. This was one of the best heavy power metal albums that I listened in this year, and until today, after so many years, I can say that this is one of my best albums of my collection. This is great. This album is great. Okay, so for this reason, when the other albums came afterwards, for me they were not in the same level like the debut album, unfortunately. So I have also to say that in 2004 they made their second album To Hell and Back in 2000, their third album and last album Suicide by My Side in 2002, and they wanted also to make another fourth album in 2004, Sins of the Past, but they didn't succeed and they disbanded as a band. And until now, after of course the death of Alexei Laiho before 2 years, this is it. So I don't know if Kimmery goes maybe in the future she will make the band from the beginning or to continue the band, but I don't think so. In any case, let's now make a worst to best. So if you understand what we will be in the first place, but let's see in the other places what I have to say. So in the third place, in the last place, I will put their third and last album, Suicide by My Side. Here it is. Came out in 2002. The interesting thing is that in Metallum Encyclopedium you can find that most of the fans of the band, they prefer this album even more than the other albums. But for me, except for the song Written in Stone, everything here is very generic. It's not a really bad album, but it's very generic as a power metal album, if you understand what I'm saying. Their style of power metal, it was a little bit more fast tempo, let's say, more strong, more fast, a little bit like the US power metal, not exactly US power metal, don't mean to understand me, but it's not melodic Euro power, if you understand. You can find here the influences from Children of Bodom, in the beginning also the influence of In Flames. It's very, very generic, this specifically album. The whole album here, the artwork is about suicide, but it is not a concept album. But for me, this is the less favorite album of them. In the second place, I will come with their second album of 2000, To Hell and Back. Also, this album is not so great as the debut album, but you have here some good songs from here and there. Also, they made a cover song Hanging on the Telephone from the new wave band Blondie. Here is the original artwork with ghosts also in the artwork. Here, most of the members they were from Finland. Hietala, he was inside this album also, like also in the third album. But in any case, in the first place, I will put this great debut album of them of 1999, Beware the Heavens. And here, really, you have so very good songs and blasts. For example, The Fourth Word. 1 minute. Also, I have to say, they made here a song, The Fourth Word. In their second album, they had another song by the name Return to the Fourth Word. And in the third and last album, they have another also song by the name Passage to the Fourth Word. Like a concept between these songs. In any case, here you can find also The Warrior Princess, a great song about Xena. Beware the Heavens, great song also. Virtual Future, and even more. Great album that I adore this album. This is one of the cases that you have a band that you like the debut album so much, and afterwards you don't have the same you don't feel the same love about this about the band, about the other albums of them, unfortunately. So this is about Synergy. In all the time, I don't know if you listen the background music, but I listen now the debut album, I think, of Television. These guys, they were proto-punk, let's say, and their famous album Mercury Moon. In any case, so this is about Synergy from Finland, Sweden. Okay, let's say about this super group of Alexi Laiho and of Kimei Ghost. So from Israel and from Jerusalem, stay metal and stay heavy.